Yes. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. We are a bit late. We're two
But we're
minutes
color
late.
coordinated, the dog and I.
But tonight we are talking about riding principles. We are talking about important dressage terms that y'all should be
Familiar with because words have a specific meaning.
We're talking about 30 days to dressage because enrollment is officially open and we're going to be kicking off that course. Actually, this Sunday, I'm doing a lecture on training principles.
I'll be taking a nap after that drive.
Oh, yes. Very exciting. Tomorrow, we're going down to Wellington and we're going to go and see the Friday night lights, I think they call it. It's like the big freestyles. And Isabel Worth is competing in it. So that's going to be really fun to see. And then we're also going, there's like a demo at Hugstrand and a big show down there. So it should be fun. We found a hotel that would accept messy. Although like everything is sold out right now in Wellington. I was looking for hotels and there was like it was like $700. Like to get a hotel in Wellington was like $700. I was like, no, we cannot afford that. So
we're sleeping in the car.
I think we're sitting at the Red Barn Inn or something.
Red Roof.
Red Roof.
It's a chain.
Yes.
I've seen it in San Diego, Carlsbad.
But the other hotel reviews were very sketchy. They were like, do not stay here. This is the worst hotel ever. So we'll try to get some little clips from the show, but it should be a lot of fun. Other updates, it's finally warm in Florida. We got to experience a humid day today.
Was it humid today?
It was humid today. Didn't you notice how sweaty everyone got?
I've been sweating ever since it stopped freezing. It's like, it's so weird.
Anyways, okay, on the agenda for tonight, let me see my agenda. We're talking about personalization, our 10 dressage terms, and top 3 training principles. So first of all, one thing for those of you who are in 30 days to dressage, one thing that I think is really important about training in general, and especially if you're just beginning in dressage or new to the sport, is figuring out what you need to focus on and where to start with you. Wouldn't you agree? Because every horse and rider are different.
Yes.
And so there are certain frameworks that you follow, but you also have to figure out how to adjust the framework.
And the principles stand.
You.
The principles always stand. Then it's all a matter of degree after that. The horse should be in front of the leg. All right, well, how? Well, you got to figure that bit out, but it needs to be in front of your leg.
Ooh, that's one of the terms we're going to be talking about. But what's really fun in 30 days to dressage is when you come into the course, you basically fill out this little survey assessment. And if you can give me as much information as possible, that's best. Like there's several just multiple choice questions, and then I don't know why the dog is licking me. And then there's some free form questions. And then what I do is I've been spending every night like going through and reading everyone's responses and then writing out like a little personalized plan for you of what to focus on during the month. So I'm super excited about that because I do think that it's interesting how every horse and every rider are just a little bit different and they need a little bit of a different plan.
But there's a lot of similarity at the same time.
That's true. That's the hard part, is knowing like when to follow the system and when to adjust or change an exercise based on what your horses need, which I think is interesting.
That's the fun part. That's a challenging part.
Okay. Shall we go through some of these terms? So basically, we're going to go through some words in dressage. Maybe for those of you watching, you can help us out and type in the chat. But these are, I have a PDF that has like 10 terms, and these are some of the terms because there's all these things you hear in dressage. Let me know in the chat what is like one word that you hear, but you're like maybe not sure what it means. Words like throughness, roundness, half halt. What are some words? Dog?
Dog. Dog, hugging dog.
In front of the leg. And so you need to understand those words so that when your trainer tells you, or when you see them written on a test, that you can actually know what they mean, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the first word.
Okay, we'll get there because I think half halt is just the most difficult thing.
We have that definition. The first word on my list is dressage. What is dressage? You know what I want to do? I want to do like a thing where we go around and we just like ask everyone and hand them a mic, like, what is dressage? What is dressage? What is dressage?
Well, the real meaning is training.
Yes, the word dressage comes French dresser, meaning to train or prepare. The goal of dressage is to create a happy athlete, a horse that is calm, supple, balanced, and confident while remaining attentive and eager to work. Dressage is the foundation of good riding. It's not just movements in the arena. It's about developing balance, harmony, and communication so that the horse and rider move as one.
Right. That's how what was taught to me was all horses need dressage. Later, it becomes dressage when you put the top hat and the tails on. That was back in the day when you used to wear a top hat. But, every horse needs to be able to do third level. It needs to go, come back, turn, make a flying change, be able to make a half pass and be supple. Every horse benefits from that.
All right, let's see. Some of you are commenting in the chat. So Margaret wonders what inside leg to outside rein means. We're actually doing that topic coming up next month in Strides. Jane is wondering about throughness. Teresa is wondering about in front of or behind the bit. Jane is saying, oh, the answer is to train. But yeah, I mean, that's part of the purpose of 30 Days to Dressage is it's really about like teaching you this, like what is dressage? How's the arena set up? How are the tests designed? What are all these things meaning so that you have that foundation and then that you can like call yourself like I'm a dressage rider. I know what these things mean. I know these terms. Okay. The next one is in front of the leg. What's your meaning of in front of the leg?
I'm not begging my horse to go forward.
Yes. In front of the leg means your horse responds immediately and willingly to your leg aid, maintains energy you ask for, and steps forward with power from behind. It's about responsiveness and not speed. Many riders confuse forward with faster. Being in front of the leg doesn't mean your horse rushes around. It means that when you ask for trot, the response is instant and energetic, not delayed or sluggish. Easier said than done, right?
Absolutely. And then he gets to, all right, that's the principle. Now, how do we do that? Because some horses are just, they got more blood, as they say, in Holland.
Let us know in the chat who here struggles with their horse being in front of the leg. Here's another definition of it that I thought was interesting. This is a little bit more of an advanced idea of in front of the leg, but in front of the leg is where you get more of your horse in front of your leg than behind your leg. So it's kind of about like, in dressage, how we want to teach our horses to collect. And if you really get them to like collect and lift in the withers and then like round out through their neck, more of your horse actually like physically is in front of your leg. And you have that feeling of a speedboat where the hind end goes down and the nose comes up. Have you ever heard it described like that before?
Yeah, there's more horse in front of you. Yeah, and it's really a feeling and an image
than it actually happens.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Cindy struggles with in front of the leg. Hi, Cindy. Nancy says, I struggle. Hi, Sheila. Frankie is forward. Yes, Frankie is very forward. Hi, Kim. Solia and I struggle with that a bit. Yeah, it's definitely something, and I think that especially when you're a bit timid or just starting out, it's something that we create a little bit in our horses, or honestly, those are the horses that are a little behind the leg are the ones that are caretakers. They kind of like, they give you a little bit more confidence because they they're not like going more than you want them to, right?
Right. As soon as you stop, they're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. And they just downshift. Like if it starts getting too much for you and you quit, horse is like, cool, I'll quit with you.
Yeah. Like there's a new horse here that I've been working with, his owner, and he is a really cool horse, but he's definitely that, like, he only does as much as you ask him to do. So he can, if you don't bring a lot, like if you don't ask him, he can just be kind of like slow and normal and behind the leg. But then once you do a bunch of transitions and use your aids correctly, then he can get in front of the leg, and then it gets really fun. But he's a great amateur horse because he like doesn't give you more than you ask for, right?
Which is great because that way you have a chance to develop your skills without that wide-eyed look of terror as you hang on and hope to not die.
Okay, here's a good term for us to discuss. This is an independent seat. And this is actually a big part of 30 Days to Dressage, is that focus on your independent seat, because it is such a fundamental part of not falling off your horse, first and foremost, and then being able to communicate effectively with your horse. So, what is independent seat to you?
The ability to stay in the saddle, your body, your seat keeps redoing your balance whilst following the rhythm of whatever gait you're in, and that's keeping you in the saddle. Your balance is keeping you in the saddle so your legs can do the leg job and your hands can do the hands job.
Easier said than done, again.
Well, at the walk, it's real easy.
It can even be hard at the walk. Sometimes I feel myself walking up a little at the walk.
Yeah, but compared to the trot of the canter, the walk it's a walk in the park.
And the walk is easy because it doesn't have suspension. So the walk technically doesn't have impulsion because there's no air time to the walk. The horse always has a foot on the ground, versus the trot and the canter have air time, which is what gives it that spring. So that's why the walk is the easiest. But it's like this idea, and what's so cool, I feel like we were designed to ride horses because we do have this ability of our pelvis to move like three-dimensionally separate from our shoulders.
Yes.
And that is what allows us to ride a horse. Like, can you imagine if we had like bones that connected and that we were like solid and our pelvis couldn't move?
You couldn't.
We couldn't ride.
You couldn't ride. There's no way.
I think we were like designed to ride horses because of that.
And they can take us too.
Yeah. Shall we read my official definition of the independent seat? The rider's ability to maintain balance and harmony with a horse's motion, using their core and seat alone, allowing the legs and hands to act independently for giving clear, refined aids. The rider's seat absorbs the horse's movement without bouncing. The upper body remains quiet and balanced, not using the reins for stability. That's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
The legs can aid without disturbing your seat or gripping for balance. Who here finds that when they use their legs, they grip with their hands, or when they use their hands, they stop with their seat? I think that that's really the hard part, is being able to have your seat always following while you give these different aids. Do you have any exercises that you use for riders to help with that?
To help with what?
Being able to like move their legs and keep their seat going, or do something with their hands and not lock their seat.
I have them take one foot out of the stirrup.
1 foot?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Because it messes up the balance.
That's a good one.
And you take 1 foot out, you put that one in, and take the other, and it messes up the balance.
While you're walking.
While you're walking.
So you got to keep the walk rhythm. Walk. Take 1 foot out, keep your seat going.
And then put that foot back in.
Take the other foot out, keep the walk going.
And then put that foot back in, and take the other one out. It's like the game of Twister. You know that game Twister? Mm-hmm. You put the left hand on the circle and then the right foot, and you get yourself like a pretzel. Yeah, I try and do that for the rider in the saddle so they can they can move their limbs and their hips have to keep going.
That's a good
And
one.
there's no way you can't lock up your leg if you're taking it out of the stirrup and putting it back in. Then you discover that you are locking your leg if you can't flex your foot around with your toe and find the stirrup.
Yeah. Another one that you can do for your arms is like put your reins in one hand and then just like be able to move your arm, shake it around, like move it. And again, it's a skill, you know, it's hard. It takes a lot of practice to be able to do something with your hands and keep your seat connected, or do something with your legs and not lock up. And it's something that I even am still working on. I think sometimes I feel like, oh, like I'm not following enough the movement. And so I think that's also why it's important that you give an aid, but then you have to reset and refocus on your seat and check in with your seat, and then kind of give an aid and then check in with your seat, because it takes a long time before you can really give all these aids and not walk through your seat.
It's like the hokey pokey.
Explain.
You have to put your right foot in and then put your right foot out. And you have to put your left hand in and then your left hand out while your hips keep following whatever gait you're in. Just like the hokey pokey.
Is it a dance?
The hokey pokey?
Yeah.
That's a dance.
Yeah.
And horseback riding dance.
Have you done the hokey pokey?
I think at a wedding, yes.
Let us know in the chat if you have done the hokey pokey, and if you think that the hokey pokey is like riding with an independent seat.
Absolutely. I'm 100% convinced.
Interesting.
See, hokey pokey.
Susan has done the hokey pokey. But I think that's the hard part about riding, is that there's nothing like it. I mean, I would say like sitting on a stability ball and kind of like being able to move your pelvis around, that can help for sure. The other thing that's kind of fun is those mechanical horses. I rode one that was pretty good, but there's just nothing like it.
No, there isn't. And I remember when one of my coaches got asked that question about cross training, and he's like, you can do all of that, but there's nothing like horseback riding to teach you how to go horseback riding, because you got to sit.
Okay, everyone has done the hokey pokey except for me. So maybe someone's going to have to
Although somebody in there said I'm showing my age with the hokey pokey. So thank you so much for that, whoever you were.
All right, shall we move on to our next definition? Oh, this is a good one. What is the difference between rhythm and tempo? This is a tough one, and I feel like so many trainers, clinicians, even myself sometimes,
I know I've done it,
will say the wrong thing, because rhythm and tempo are very similar, but they're also very different. So.
And you played music, didn't you?
Yes.
The clarinet, right?
I did. So I should know the difference. For all of those of you musical instrument people, you should know the difference between rhythm and tempo.
Right. The rhythm is, it will tell you if the walk, because the walk is 4 beats. That's the rhythm.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Now you could change the tempo of that. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, which the judge will give you a bad score for. Or it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which
maybe too fast.
Maybe too fast.
But so bottom line, rhythm always stays the same. We want to maintain the purity of 4-beat walk. Sometimes the walk can get lateral, which is where your horse goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be evenly spaced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if your horse gets lateral, the rhythm changes where it almost goes like 2-beat, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But rhythm always stays the same. Tempo can either get faster or slower. And that's one thing that with training, like when you start out with a green horse, they just do walk, trot, canter. But if you think about dressage, when we get to Grand Prix, we want to be able to do piaffe an extended trot, pirouette canter, and extended canter. So we develop all these different gaits within a gait.
Right, there's 4 recognized gaits for each gait, right? So,
Yeah.
But even within that, there's still some more.
Yeah. But
we're always playing with the tempo because that's where you can get the collection, those transitions within the gait.
Yeah. And it takes a long time to really have control of the tempo. So if you're just beginning, like if you're just at the beginning of your riding journey or like dressage, the first thing is to just start to feel the rhythm and to count. I think counting is a really valuable tool. It's something that I do a lot when I'm riding because it helps you with your seat, it helps you with your connection. But just counting and going with kind of the tempo that your horse is offering, that's like step one. And then you need to be able to adjust a little bit the tempo of your horse. In general, hot horses, you slow the tempo a little down, and lazy horses, you make the tempo a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And then eventually, you need to be able to change that tempo, like slower, faster, and you have to be able to do that independent of stride length. So you should be able to keep the same tempo and make the step smaller or bigger, which is where it gets super complicated. And hopefully I didn't lose any of you with that whole big description.
Next item.
Dressage is hard. I think that's what we're learning here. But what I love about dressage is that we're all always learning and improving. It always goes back to these basic things like rhythm and tempo. Whether you're just starting out, it can be really helpful to focus on. And also if you're doing FEI and Grand Prix, you're still working on rhythm and tempo. So it's just wonderful that to know what these things mean at least, so that when you hear it, you know what to think about. Okay, next thing on my list is suppleness. Suppleness is another one of those terms that I think you hear a lot and you're like, that's a big word. What exactly does suppleness mean?
Well, it's twofold. It's meant that the brain is soft, allowing that the horse is relaxed and lets you, and that the body is soft, like a waterbed kind of. It has its form, but it's not braced.
Yeah. It's both mental and physical elasticity and relaxation. And the hard thing is that mind and body are very much connected. And so when your horse mentally relaxes, their body relaxes. And when your horse mentally gets nervous, their body gets tense. Just like us, when we get nervous or tense, we hold that tension comes into our body. Like for me, when I get stressed or tense, my shoulders get so tight. That's where I hold my tension. Let us know in the chat where you hold your tension. Where do you hold your tension?
You don't know?
I think in your jaw. You're always like tensing your jaw.
It's in my jaw.
And like grinding your teeth.
And I got that, what do they call it? The TMJ thing. I just lock on.
Well, maybe at least your jaw is not like the big muscle. It's not like your shoulders.
That's true. And it's funny too, because when I ride, I'll munch my teeth down, but I'll try and stay soft in my shoulders so I don't put it in the horse's mouth.
Interesting. I'll have to try that. I think I lock up my shoulders and my arms.
Yeah, I try. And so that's a thought. And now it just happens even when I'm driving. So, that was a thought. It was like, okay, I'm going to put my mouth down and keep my arms soft.
And the really hard part about suppleness is that it, like Herman was just mentioning, our lack of suppleness. So when we're not supple, either physically or mentally, and they are related. So if you're tense or nervous, that's going to lock your body, and that's going to translate into your horse because your horse is going to sense that. Also, if you're stiff, like if you need to stretch and your hips and your back are all locked up, that's going to transfer into your horse and make your horse not be supple. So suppleness is the second level of the training pyramid, and it's something that we're always working on. Like every single day, suppleness is kind of the foundation of, you get on and you take a few deep breaths and you've got to get your horse supple and work on that bending.
Yes, I was just thinking about, maybe I'm too loose in my arms. We shouldn't have mentioned that. They give away too much.
Well, there's a balance. You got to give at the right time. That's the hard part. You have to have the right amount of tone and give at the right
and
moment.
keep that positive tension.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Oh, here's a good question from Margaret. How do you relax when listening to an instructor and trying to do what she says?
In moments. I do it in moments.
Good advice.
I do the thing, right? And, when Christina, right, she says do X, and so then I get kind of tight and strong and try and force that to happen, and then I relax a little bit, and then I do it again, and I get to work. Because when I'm learning a new thing or changing a thing, it requires concentration, which tends to make me a little stiff.
Yeah.
So I do the thing, try and get familiar with it, and then soften after whatever exercise, and then try to do the thing, and I'll get a little tight or stiff there, and whatever. It's part of the learning curve. So in moments, I do it in spurts, I guess.
That's really good advice. Because nothing is more frustrating as an instructor than when you're telling your student to do something and they don't do it. And that is frustrating.
I've lost my mind more than once, and you've seen me do it.
I don't know that that helps, but
no, but it's very cathartic for me.
But it definitely is like, you have to try to do something new, and that does create tension for a moment, and then kind of breathe through it and relax and try to do it again and breathe through it and relax. And then I think also in lessons, it's really important that you reflect after your lesson. So I like to jot down some notes or think about it again that evening and try to really remember what you learned and read those notes before you get on your horse the next time, because you're not going to retain everything in the lesson. That's where video can also be super helpful. If you can get a video of your lesson and then you can go back and rewatch it, because sometimes you actually learn more after the fact when you're watching the lesson and you're like, oh, okay, I can see what my instructor meant there. And that's also where online learning like this is super helpful, because you can sit here from the comfort of your home and think about these terms or riding or questions that you have. And then when you go into the saddle, your brain has done the work and your body can just kind of take over and do the thing. We've been watching a lot, you've been watching a lot of the Winter Olympics.
Oh yeah, we're glued to that.
Which it's always, the Olympics is always amazing to watch the athletes. But my mom actually sent me a really interesting article today about visualization and how much visualization the skiers do specifically, because, the jumping, I don't know, I haven't been watching a lot, but the jumping in the moguls is very short time, right?
Yeah. And boy, howdy, is it quick. It's bang, 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 down the hill.
And so you can imagine how important visualization is for an event like that.
Because they go through the course. Okay, so my coach told me, your brain doesn't really know the difference whether you physically did it or if you just did it in your mind. For the brain, it's the same. Not to mention, you can't physically do that kind of wear and tear. You can't go down a mogul hill 100 times in a day. Your joints would just give up. So that's why the visualization. So your brain practices doing it without the wear and tear on your body. Yeah. And then when you go to do it, your body's like, oh, I know, we've done this 100 times. Boom, 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 boom.
Just like that.
Just like that.
All right, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed our Thursday Night Live. And let's see, if you're in 30 Days of Dressage, I hope to see you on Sunday for our first lecture, which is going to be about training principles. And then Nicole is also doing this really great plan your month session. Nicole is she's on my team. If you haven't met her before, she's amazing. She keeps me organized. So she made these slides all about how she like organizes her week and her month and like plans out her days to make sure that she gets everything done.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive.
Wow.
So hopefully you can come to that. We are going to pack our bags, and I have some more work to do. And then we're going to go to bed because we need to get up early to ride all the horses before we head down to Wellington. We'll probably, what time are we going to get started tomorrow?
Well, I gotta drive the arena at whatever 6.
Maybe earlier.
Yeah, because I've got to take the arena down, drag, and then put the arena back in.
Okay. Ramon put up the dressage court in our arena, which is fantastic because the arena is a bit wider than a dressage court. The arena is 100 by 200 feet,
Yes.
right? And a dressage court is only about 60 feet.
65.
65. So we finally got the court up, which is fantastic. And I was able to practice riding through some tests today, which I really enjoyed. So thank you for putting up the court and dragging, tractor dragging. Oh, so should I tell them about the song?
Which song?
So.
Oh, no, you go ahead. That was the most horrible thing I've ever heard in my life.
I love, like, every morning. So he goes down a little bit earlier and like feeds the horses and starts doing the arena. So I'm like walking down and it's still kind of dark and he has the lights on in the arena and he's like driving the tractor around. And so, you know, Herman hates country music.
And Western. I don't like either one of them.
And so, you know that song, She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy? And
I didn't know that song until the other morning when you showed up with it.
I think it was maybe even on Valentine's Day. I was like, hey, I have a song for you. And so I made him listen to it. So let us know if any of you are country music fans and if you like that She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy. But apparently he didn't enjoy that was like his new theme song.
Oh, it was bad.
All right, everyone.